Welcome back. So when we left off, we are still progressing pretty nicely in our war, but the war is definitely dragging on a lot longer than I'd like it to. The enemy is defeated. It's just a simple matter of occupying enough space for the game's equations to realize that they're defeated. They don't stand any chance of victory here, but they are going to continue to hold on for as long as they can. The war score is progressing nicely. We had the rebellion to put down in the last episode as well, which kind of distracted us for a moment, but the rebellion is dealt with. We did lose one of our armies because we jumped our transports in before our combat fleets, but overall things are going pretty well. Let's see. These guys are now on the ground. Yeah, they're quite confident they'll win. Let's see what we got going on here. This fleet should still be on its warp cooldown. Yeah. You can see warp cooldown by looking at the ships. They'll have that glowing effect on them. It doesn't last that long, but it does last long enough to, if you're paying attention, you'll see it. We finished completing the new level of farms, so tile blockers, because they're inexpensive and immensely useful. Well, the tile blockers aren't useful, the ability to clear them, however, is. We're going to embark that fleet, equip this guy. This fleet is in Ridigus. So I'll move them upward. These guys. And you can see we're actually losing war score a bit. And a lot of that is because occupying a planet, as I've mentioned before, with ground troops is worth less war score than blockading a planet with your fleets. And so, even though we're disabling their ability to use these planets, they are still... I'm not really sure what the conceptual justification is, but basically it's... they don't consider the planet as defeated or whatever, because I guess they think they can come and retake it. Like I said, I'm not really clear on why the occupation is worth less than a blockade, but because I'm still getting points from the occupation when I move to a new system and start blockading the new system, my overall score will go up. And that's kind of what I'm more or less doing right now, is just system to system, blockade everything. Let's see, how far am I? Okay, so the thruster's in a couple of months. Really hope that flak battery shows up again. I'm a militarist nation, and it's a weapons technology, which means I have a better than average chance of getting it to show up again. But the flak batteries are outstandingly useful. Oh, those guys are only halfway there. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and land and tell this fleet to move to that system. And then in his home system. Also, another thing to keep in mind is that home colonies are not worth more than any other colony, which kind of does and kind of doesn't make sense. I think it should be worth a little bit more, but the game does not assign greater value to your home planet than it does to any other. And here my fleet is taking apart their transports. See how they're feeling about the peace treaty now. Okay, they'll take it now. So that war is finally over. And we can move our armies back into our own space. I don't think there's no primitives in that system. And combine these two back the way they're supposed to be. This guy is now my vassal. I shouldn't be too far. Yeah, I can integrate him already. So I'm going to start on that because now I have Sintomoroi would like a non-aggression pact with me. So because I declared war on the allied Theban systems, the Sintomoroi no longer have a defensive pact with me, and we've been getting along fairly well this game. We kind of buddied up early on, and they were part of the hug box that helped me progress early on. But at this point, they've become more of a hindrance than a help, which I'm sure is not something they would want to hear, but they are in my way, and they're too big to take vassalization, so instead I'm going to chip away at their empire. I've already shown that I can beat them, and I intend to do so until they are no more. And again, sending the construction ship around to clean up things, adding new systems to the sector. I've taken quite a few border pushing technologies, and so my border likes to be quite a bit bigger than most others. And as I was hoping, the flak battery showed up again, which is extremely good news. That will make it so I can render my fleet significantly less vulnerable to fighters and missiles. And you can see my my extra fleet is already up to 112 combat strength. Or, well, 10k combat strength, but 112 fleet capacity. And I've still got a good chunk to go, and I still have a good amount of income. But now that I'm integrating this vassal, I'll do a pretty good job with increasing that as well. Whatever, I don't really care, I just need a scientist in that slot. We finished researching, I think that was the farm technology. So what I'm actually going to do, I think, is grab this naval capacity and etheric gas gives shield hit points. I really don't care about shield hit points. I think I want to get the 0-point reactor. That's the final tier of reactor for my ships. Got new farms, and apparently a few neglected buildings. I'm going to go through, upgrade everything, and then I'll revisit it. It's not efficient, but it is faster in faster relative to player time invested to just upgrade everything and then sort it out later. But the fleet's going along pretty well. You can see my other fleets are out here. They're barely scratched, but they're recovering. Anyway. What I'm actually going to do though now is I'm just going to completely destroy my destroyers and corvettes. I don't need them, I don't want them, and I'm not going to keep them around. Let's see, corvette there. Alright. So 8, 16, 24, 32. I ran out of minerals. There. So that'll give me another 48 points worth of fleet, which will bring the second strike force up to 160, which is a respectable strength. Although we're going to call it combat, because I don't much care about which number they are. I just want them to be designated a combat fleet. The vassal integrating is coming along nicely. The Allied Seaven Systems clock is ticking. Let's see now. Sintomoroi are still losing this war really hard. Yeah. It's another important thing to keep in mind is that there's a display bug with the occupation of planets. It won't necessarily show the person who's actually occupying it. It seems to more or less arbitrarily pick an icon to show. Yeah, see, this Sagitani did end up going out and settling that. And my truce with Sintomoroi will last until 2363. So he's still got a while before he has to worry about me messing him up again. Spaceports are finishing up, and adding to my newest combat fleet. Let's see, how am I doing? About 2 years left on that flak battery, so I'll have that long before the next war. I probably won't have the 0-point reactor, but that's alright. And as I said before, one of my favorite parts about the flak battery is that it goes in a medium slot, not a point defense slot, so I don't have to sacrifice nearly as much. Although on my cruisers I do have... Yeah, see, I can't get point defense there. I would have to give up the 3 medium turrets for a hangar and the 2 point defense, and that's too much. And destroyers, I think, get some good options for point defense, but destroyers are too flimsy for me to use in any large-scale fleet. You saw that I lost a cruiser and a whole bunch of small ships in the one engagement that I did have with the Sintomoroi, and honestly, I'm very surprised the small ships have survived this long. They're cheap and easy to replace, but they're also easy to destroy. And I generally prefer my fleets to have lasting power. So now this planet has 9 extra food, and this farm is only producing 4. And there's not really any temporary bonuses going on with it. So I'm going to go ahead and replace this with a power plant. Actually no, that one has metal or minerals on it, so we're going to replace it with a mining network. This planet has 3 extra food. 14. Wow, okay. I can't replace that one. I can replace one of these 8s, and that's going to become a power plant. I'll suppress the minerals and the food, it's fine. This planet has 7 available food. I don't think I'll be able to replace anything. Yeah, but it would be a good candidate. This one has 12, so I should be able to replace a farm. At least one, apparently. This one's only producing 6. Alright, so it's actually producing 6.96, and I have 12.8 available, so I can still only replace one farm. But that does mean... yeah, it doesn't really matter which one I replace. This one will be a power plant. And we can see here now we finished terraforming a world. And only 5 food available, so I probably can't replace anything. Istrum is the one that just finished terraforming. Send a colonist over. Wow. I'm feeling like that's probably the better spot. And it's going to be an easily developed planet. And let's see. 2 should already be terraforming. Yep. It's almost done, actually. I think I want to get over here and start terraforming those 2 as well. I'm going to send him up that way. Now that I have an abundance of influence, it's pretty easy for me to build frontier outposts, if only to use them as a means of terraforming worlds to colonize. And then that should also let me fill in the rest of this area back here. Get some extra border pushing and then a little extra... borders that are near each other will kind of pull toward each other, so when I colonize here it'll project in roughly this area, but the border in the middle here will kind of pull toward each other, and that will probably honestly let me fill in that entire area. And this still irritates the hell out of me. I'm definitely destroying that outpost as soon as I can. But I think I am going to have one more war with the Sintomoroi. I don't know. I won't be able to use that vassal right away. What are his ethics like? Yeah, he's largely similar already. So his people will probably be alright in my empire. Okay, so the Sintomoroi are no longer at war. Yeah, this giant hug box is going to need to get smashed though. But I'm building the tools to do exactly that. I just need to expand my empire and gain strength still. God, I'm looking forward to that flak battery. Alright, so now as their fleets come back home, I can also look at their strength too. So they've got, what's that, about 25, or, yeah, about 25k they had there. Sintomoroi Stellar Polity? Oh, the Auspicious Count, or the Auspicious Concord. Ah, that's Lavis and Sintomoroi. They were already kind of buddied up, so nothing new there. Nation of Halifax. And we have rebels.
System survey complete.
And make sure I put the new combat fleet on aggressive. I'm actually gonna have all these guys go to Jugrad. There's no primitives in the system. Yeah, these Agarians are terrible vassals. They routinely just get rebellions. It's the most atrocious thing. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the defense station just because it's cheap and lets me reroll.
Incoming transmission.
Federation association with the Auspicious Concord? No, I think I'm good. I don't want to subject myself to the whims of an AI federation. Humans can be reasoned with, and you can create deals like, you know, we'll go to war to help you expand, and then, you know, you go to war to help somebody else expand. But with the AI, I don't know how rational they'll actually be. I think the AI will probably try and demand that it gets something every war. I've never been in a federation with an AI, and I don't intend to start.
Fleet engaged. Hostile fleet engaged. Hostile fleet engaged.
So now I'm taking apart the rebel fleet, and will very soon be sieging their world.
Updated. Hostile fleet engaged. Situation log updated.
But that's alright. These guys will only be a vassal for about another year. And I'm going to go to my cruisers and replace that one of the medium weapons with a flak battery. And I don't think I have any other changes to make right now. Oh no, wait, the new thrusters. So we want that. And on my battleships, the new thrusters are a very big deal actually. And since this fleet isn't doing anything anyway, we're going to have it go upgrade and then return. This world finished terraforming, so we colonize it. And I want to land there. The Xenomorph army thinks it'll win, and I'm inclined to agree.
Research complete.
Alright, so I just got a technology for additional naval capacity. And I will take genetic modification. Oh, right, I need to also upgrade all of my civilian ships. Wow! My transports were out of date.
System survey complete.
That's good enough. And my science ship. Get just enough reactors to get positive again. There we go. Rebels defeated. This fleet will send here. This fleet will send here. These guys. I've already updated the transport blueprint. And then, where was I? Science ships are up to date. Colony ship is in need of an upgrade. And the construction ship. Wait, did I just get the 0-point reactor? No, it's still being worked on. I don't know why my construction ship then would have the 0-point reactor already. Weird. I wonder if that has to do with the auto design. If it started auto designing before I even had the technology. That could be strange. And my science ships. Add it to the beginning of the queue to have them do that. Send him back to upgrade. And then add to the end of the list of things he's doing. There we go, finished integrating the vassals, so we pause. Add all of this to to the sector. I'm going to lose control over a large portion of it because I'm deleting some outposts. But get going where we can. Actually, I'm going to hold on to those outposts because they're giving me control over a few extra worlds, I think. But we will get them terraforming. Oh, that's the one with the enigmatic fortress. Damn it. Okay. Do I have terraforming liquids yet? Yes, I already have them, so I don't need to rush over there. But that does still give me at least one extra world. And a neutronium. I don't have that yet, I don't believe. Nope, I do. Alright. And now we can see that my battleships have 188 armor, my cruisers are getting 86% mitigation from armor. It's pretty significant. I can integrate him in 4 years. Yeah, so there's 2 worlds over there I want. Yeah, I'm gonna wait until after I finish integrating, and then I'll grab that. And you can see I'm still spending 0.61 to suppress all these factions. It's really not a big problem suppressing the faction when you've got everything in one giant sector. I have no idea if this is how you're supposed to play. I think you're supposed to build multiple sectors and have each one doing certain things, but this way works out pretty well too. Oh, there we go. 51 people in it now. But still 0.64, so even though I gained like 10 people, it's really no more difficult to suppress. We finished the... Oh, yes. Perfect. No, I want the kinetic artillery. The kinetic artillery are, for me, and one of those apex weapons. It's what the kinetic batteries I'm already using upgrade to, and we've already seen how fantastically they deal with everything that gets thrown at them. Alright, so I need... something stirs. Okay. So I'm going to send a science ship over to research that project. And we're going to see what happens. I don't know what that's even about. We'll get him exploring though. I am tempted to go fight this fortress, but I'm not sure what it's going to take to bring it down. And I do have some neighbors around me that are a bit bigger than I'd like. Just in case my whole fleet gets wiped out, you know? I don't want to be too vulnerable. Alright, so colony established on 2. I've actually got enough capacity to finish my 3rd combat fleet. And I don't intend to build a 4th combat fleet. What I'll do is just expand the ones that I have.
Special project complete.
Alright. It's a gaggle of wayward drones. Initial disappointment was swept away by the run's erroneous IFF. They think we were race affiliated with their long-dead masters. They seem excited, if old AI constructs can be excited, to see us. Unfortunately, they again lapsed into inactivity shortly after, and we've been unable to resuscitate them, or take them apart. I'm sure that's fine. Suspicious behavior out of machines that, you know, we can't destroy. I'm sure nothing will go awry. Everything is going exactly according to plan. But now, though, if I were to destroy this frontier outpost, Cybex Alpha would fall under my domain, and or well, fall under my empire borders. And I'm really, really wanting to do that. I want that living metal, and that might be the only source of it in the entire galaxy. So if I can have that, that would be fantastic. And you can see here how much harder my borders push. My border from Valas and Mihil is pushing all the way down in between some of their borders. My border pushing is very strong. And you can see the unity is a good bit bigger than everyone else. It's a very big empire. Let's check the victory condition though. And go ahead and pause. I'm going to insert a break. I just want to take a look at the victory condition. We're at 42 out of 98. Things are picking up the pace now that we can actually wage war against all of our neighbors. And so I hope you're enjoying, and thank you for watching.